am getting to love this Zoom because I am getting to meet such incredible people from all over Canada, all over the world. But I want to say hello to Serafin LaRiviere. Did I pronounce it right, Serafin?
Yep, LaRiviere, that's just perfect.
And right now you're in Toronto, but you said that you commute between Toronto and Montreal, and where else do you call
Actually,
home?
it's Toronto and between Toronto and a little tiny village in called North Hatley in the Eastern Townships,
Oh, beautiful.
which has like a population of 400 year round, and then in the summertime it goes up to like 3,000.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
So,
And that's when
but
you're not there
so
anymore, no?
no, I was actually writing out most of COVID there, and I wrote
Oh,
half of the album and arranged the music for the album in there because we were in the middle of this village in the middle of nowhere during a pandemic. So yeah, but no, I don't make it into Montreal too much. Quebec City, I sing there quite a bit during pre-COVID times.
oh,
So
yes. Okay, so let's talk about the album. And like you and so many other singer-songwriters and artists, 2020 was a lot of writing, a lot of isolation. So this album, obviously, what kind of songs motivated you? And then now, I guess getting this album released is kind of different too, as well, correct?
oh, it's crazy. I had actually planned to record the album back a year ago in the end of March in 2020. And then, of course, all heck broke loose. And it was interesting because I hadn't written music. My last album was 10 years before. And I had taken kind of a hiatus because we adopted our son. And, for any new parents out there, you know what it's like trying to juggle bathing with with childbearing, never mind a career. So I was doing gigs in Quebec. I have an agent in Quebec City and I was doing gigs there, but mostly I was at home. And I hadn't written any music. And so I thought I'll include two originals that I wrote quite some time before, and then I'll just do cover songs and kind of arrange those a little bit differently. And when COVID hit, because I'm normally a jazz artist, I felt like all the rules had just been tossed out the window, and so I started arranging the songs, the jazz covers that I was doing, sort of in different ways, borrowing from country and pop and soul and funk. And then I started writing, and I wrote because I had this terrible parenting day, like those days where you're just like, you might as well just start putting money in the account for your child's therapy year later on, because
Let alone
I
yours.
was, oh, I was homeschooling, and any parent out there that had to do that deserves every amount of adulation that there is in this planet. I'd had a terrible day. My adoptive mom had died, and I needed advice, and she wasn't there. And I was downstairs, and I wrote this song called Mom. It's actually the next single we'll be releasing later this month. And it opened this gate for me of writing about fear and about comfort and solace as well. And I wrote these very sort of personal songs, and it informed the way I sang the songs that I had chosen for the album. I ended up writing 6 songs and then kept losing standards as I went along. And yeah, it was a very powerful time. I know I'll remember that period for my life. It was really powerful for me.
And it was interesting going back because you were talking about you're kind of throwing your normal jazz go-to into other different genres. And I really kind of think music, especially this year, took that plunge. Like there's crossovers galore, and artists that you would normally hear on a country station, you hear on pop, and then pop would be country or rock. And I think it's beautiful. Your experience, I guess, getting into these different genres too, probably was uplifting for yourself, even as an artist.
It was great because what I did was I was listening. I don't know about you, but for me, nostalgia was huge during the pandemic, those things that bring us comfort. So I was watching the Mary Tyler Moore show, but I was also listening to old LPs that I had because I had a little record player. And I was listening to the LPs that I used to listen to, the songs on the LPs that I used to listen to over and over and over again. And I started thinking, what do I like about this song? What is it that, all these years later, I still listen to it and think, oh my God, that's perfect. And so it forced me to sort of look outside of the genres because I have such a disparate um, taste in music over my lifetime because I'm older and our tastes change as time goes on. And then other artists were doing crazy things. Taylor Swift released a folk album,
Yeah.
which was stunning. It was stunning. And Lila Bialy released a beautiful album. She's traditionally very jazz, and her album just spans the breadth of genre. So yeah, it was a lawless year.
And will you go back to jazz? And we have to say that jazz really is a niche kind of genre. It hasn't
Mhm.
seen the growth like what we call pop music, and all the artists are so unique in themselves and great storytellers, which I probably think is really important for you, right, Serafin?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love jazz, especially the American Songbook. By American, I mean the North American Songbook, which is the classics from, Cole Porter and Noel Coward and stuff that Bing Crosby sang and um, Rosemary Clooney, those kind of songs. And you listen to those and you think, I did one of Rosemary Clooney's songs on the album, not one of her songs, but one of her signature pieces called You Came a Long Way from St. Louis. And it is the best, most badass song you can imagine for the 1950s. It's just it's amazing to discover how common the lyrical threads are between them and now,
Oh,
and
yes.
rediscovering those meanings. I find that very powerful.
And you can understand every single word that they're singing. Sorry, just saying.
Oh my God. Thank heavens for what is it, easylyrics.com, where you can just punch in and
Yeah.
find out what the heck Elton John was singing in 1974 through a haze of quaaludes and, like, oh, it's a tiny
Oh,
dancer.
yes,
Yes.
really.
Yeah.
So I want to go to you personally. You
Mm.
did mention that you took a 10-year hiatus and you have a son who is now 10
Yeah.
years old, Nikki, and
Nikki.
it is a real journey, like amazing journey that you've taken, Seraphin. And I think it is something that, if you're willing to, I don't know, but share because it is a powerful
Sure.
story and I mean a great ending too.
It's it is a continual revelation every day. And I don't use that word lightly or glibly. When you sit and you look at this person who is becoming, now he's pre-adolescent, he's 10, and I'm looking at him and seeing the human being that he is becoming and rising to be. And it's frightening because I think, oh God, don't screw this up. But also it's amazing because, he's just like people. He's got his own personality and his own, and I can remember the traits that he had as a child, as an infant, and see how they've sort of grown through time. And it's been a very powerful journey. And because we waited so long for him, because the adoption process is long, and we adopted him in the province of Saskatchewan. We were living there for a short time, and they made it so easy, but even still, it was a 2-year process. And, we were told that we would have a hard time adopting because we're not a typical heterosexual couple, not a typical normative family. And they took extra good care of us. We hear about red tape, the bureaucracy in Saskatchewan and Regina, the social services were amazingly supportive. Canada has safeguards to prevent abuses of prejudice and abuses of exclusion, which I was so proud of to learn. I get emotional when I think about it. When I think how their main focus is having a child in a home. That's it. They want a child in a home. And so that process of getting a child, we had to do 9 months of coursework and learning and classes and then waiting. And then we ended up fostering Nikki at first. And it was 9 months of nail biting. Oh, will the adoption go through? 9 months long. And I think I kept the potato chip companies in business. Like, it was just, to heck with the pandemic. That was the big one. And when it arrived, the slip from the judge arrived on my birthday on June 7th.
Oh, wow.
I know. And I looked at it and I was like, I don't need anything else.
No, no,
So,
that's
yeah.
well, that is so amazing, and I guess now too, obviously, life has changed, right? You're a parent, and there's certain things you just can't go run out and do a gig anymore. It's like a lot of
No.
planning before you step out of that door.
And ironically, COVID has actually been, I shouldn't say COVID, isolation has been kind of um, good for that, I suppose, or kind of conducive to that, because I can't go out and do a little tour right now. I can't go and do a bunch of gigs to release the album, which I would actually love to do. And I take my kid along and I give him my phone because he never gets to play video games. And I'm like, here, you can play a game on my phone. And of course, it's like crack cocaine to
Yes,
children, right?
yes, oh yes.
But it has changed the way I have released an album, and I've never had that happen before. I just get notices, oh, CBC is playing your album, and Jazz FM is playing your album, and oh, these people are buying it. And Bandcamp, it went up live on Bandcamp, and it had 900 listens within an 8-hour period, and now it's at like almost 4,000. And the
Wow.
music video for Take On Me that I
Yes.
released back in December, that I shot myself and edited, and,
Well,
and
hey.
it's got 40,000 views on YouTube. So, but I haven't left my house.
So there you
You
go.
know?
I know it is a real kind of a weird kind of situation because we
Yeah.
all want to see you live. Like I would love to see you live, but if
Mm,
I can see a video, I'll take that. And it's so
yeah.
strange, yeah. So I guess moving on, Seraphin, looking into the future, obviously writing more music.
Mhm.
Will you still continue in the jazz, or will you maybe become something else?
You know, that's a really good question. I think I will always, you know, 5 of the songs on the album are from a jazz sort of ethos. Um, but I think, I've always had kind of a hard time fitting with jazz. You know, I've had been embraced in San Francisco and in Toronto and in Quebec.
Mhm.
Um, but I'm always a little bit different because my voice is kind of unusual and uh, I don't know. It'll be interesting. And I can't scat to save my life. I sound like a child burbling into their cereal. Like it's not good. Um, so I don't know. I think I would like to sit where I am for a while, which is straddling a bunch of different fences and see
Oh,
how that goes. Yeah.
well, I think that's a good place to be. So I am hoping that you are going to give us a song.
Yes, I would love to. The first single we released in December, which was released on a whim. I was bored and I wanted to do something. And we did this video and I learned how to edit and it did really well. And ironically, it's not jazz at all.
Oh, it
So I'd love
isn't.
to sing that for you if you're okay. It's one of my favorite songs from the 1980s because I'm an 80s kid.
Mm-hmm.
And it was done in a very sort of pop sort of way. And my first album 15 years ago was all pop songs redone as jazz tunes. But I wanted to take a pop song and do it as sort of a torch song, as a quiet, intense sort of piece. And so I took Take On Me from Aha. And
Aha.
remember that video with the
Yes.
cartoons, like all sketchy cartoons and like
Yes. Oh,
big hair and
hair.
oh, it was great. So I redid it, and you know what? The song holds up so well. I watched the video and I was like, "This video is an amazing video."
Well, there you go.
So I got the rights and I recorded it. So yeah,
So,
I'd love to sing that for you.
okay. Thank you so much, Seraphin.
Oh,
Seraphin
thank you so much,
LaRiviere, we
Tracy.
love you in Winnipeg. Can't wait to have you here perform live.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay.
Talking away, I don't know what I'm to say. I'll say it anyway. Today's another day to find you shine away. I'm still coming for you, love. Okay. on me. Take me out. I'll be gone in a day or two. So needless to say, I'm at thousands when I feel I'm stumbling away. I'm slowly learning that life can be okay. Say it with me. It's so better to be safe than sorry. Take on me. Take me out. I'll be gone in a day or two. All the things that you say, is it like just to play my worries away? You're all the things I've got to remember. You shine away. I'm still coming for you any day. Take on me. Take me on. I'll be gone in a day or two. I'll be gone in a day or two. Take me